outstanding national security and border security investigative reporter, TV, radio, print, media, and Kimberly has covered the news with an outside-the-beltway perspective. Her experience as an investigative journalist ranges from national security issues like Gitmo's Khalid Sheikh Mohammed 9/11 trial, immigration, and foreign policy issues. She's a TV correspondent at CW6 News, San Diego, as well as One America News Network. And she's on YouTube and right now streaming live, I'm sure, at periscope.com. Kimberly, how are you?
I'm doing fine, thank you.
Have a good 4th, did you? Because I know you're a lady that likes to party and go out and take photos.
Oh, yeah, that's what I did. I went down, I did actually go watch the nation's fireworks display just behind the Jefferson Memorial and Lincoln Memorial, and it was really pretty spectacular to see all the fireworks that they put on out here in California. We don't seem to get that kind of fireworks, and when it becomes a national story, like it did in San Diego, it means they all went off in 40 seconds. So, yeah, a little better, yeah, a little better system out here.
Yeah, and you know, when you're in a place like Washington, D.C., you know, Washington, you know, it's got to have more emphasis on it. You know, it gets into you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Just more meaning. But I got to tell you something. I was going to wait until towards the end, but on Facebook, it was either earlier this week or last week. I think it was earlier this week because I'm really messed up with the holidays. But you were taking some excellent pictures of Navy ships and stuff out in San Diego Harbor, and boy, I was quite impressed with the way they're looking. Very modern-looking ships.
Yeah, well, I actually went out and did a cruise of the harbor, which I've never done. I've been in San Diego 17 years and I never did the harbor tour, so to speak. And so it was really enlightening to see San Diego from the ocean perspective. And we did get to see a lot of the new technology with the ships, and hopefully the listeners and viewers, you know, can go online and follow me on Twitter, and you can see some of those pictures that I put up there.
Yeah. You kind of wonder, when I first looked at them, I was thinking, because when I was in the Navy, and there was a period of time I was stationed in San Francisco, and right at the end of the pier there, you know, you could look out and see all these ships that weren't supposed to be having pictures taken. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I was looking at yours, and I said, boy, these things, they've come a long way, you know, because you don't have this down in Long Beach anymore, you know. No, that's, thank you very much, Clinton, that's gone.
Well, I just think that, you know, we always should err on the side of security, but a lot of the ships were decommissioned that I actually took photographs of. But I mean, when you go out and you are going up and down the coastline there, you can't help but think that, you know, of Battleship Row on, you know, in Pearl Harbor, and how they were all lined up in one place. And so, you know, let's just hope that we've got some really good satellite you know, strength and capabilities to, you know, ensure that nobody can come up to the, you know, border, across the border, and actually, you know, take out some of our ships. So,
well, I'll tell you what, getting to your latest report here, tying in with, you know, the crazy Democrats that want to, you know, get rid of ICE, you know, like some people need to do their homework just a little bit, you know, because ICE is not just the people that go down, you know, and arrest illegal aliens, you know, and pick up their children and maybe carry them off to another room or something. You know, it's like, wow, don't they know what these guys do? And just recently, and before we get into the super duper report here, you know, there was the one TV station that decided, we're going to follow ICE, and boy, I'll tell you, we're going to bust them, and we're going to show how terrible they treat the kids and all this stuff. And I'm sure you're aware of the story. Turned out to be they were arresting human smugglers. Yeah. And boy, did they have egg on their face.
Yeah, they did. And it's absolutely true. What's going on down on the border is an absolute farce. And what you're seeing is a lot of these kids, once they're starting to do these DNA tests, are finding out, yeah, these people they came across are not their parents, and they are human smugglers, or coyotes, as they're referred to. So, yeah, there's a lot in play here. But I just think... Go ahead.
I was going to say, time for that break.
Oh, okay.
And speaking of DNA, you
pay
know,
the bills.
Yeah, our president says he'll give million if she'll prove she's an Indian.
I pay to see that.
Throw your little bottles. Throw your bottles at Pocahontas, yes, but don't injure her. You'll hit her arm, yes. Okay, Kimberly Dvorak, and it is thekdreport.com, periscope.com. We're going to be right back with her excellent, disturbing story next. Do you realize that your mother, my mother-in-law, Chef Maria, has been serving Las Vegas since 1949?
Yes, I do, Dennis. That's when she first met Howard Hughes, who fell in love with her cooking.
And in 1955, she opened her first restaurant on Fremont Street.
Yes, dear. And another great customer was Liberace.
Wow. Then in 1962, while Frank Sinatra and the Rat Pack were causing global excitement on the Las Vegas Strip, your family opened their second restaurant.
And in 1972, Elvis Presley began electrifying Las Vegas audiences and eating in our restaurant.
You know, Lorraine, this is quite a town. There's only one Las Vegas.
And there's only one Bootlegger Italian Bistro.
Folks, when you're in Las Vegas, come visit us. We'll make you feel like you're part of our family. The Bootlegger Italian Bistro, conveniently located at 7700 Las Vegas Boulevard, South Strip. Visit our website at www.bootleggerlasvegas.com.
What are you going to do with your old car? You could try selling it, you could junk it, or you could donate it to Heritage for the Blind. Your car will be towed away for free, and your donation is tax deductible. Just call 1-800-785-9618. Heritage for the Blind accepts cars, vans, trucks, and boats. It doesn't matter if your vehicle runs or not. It will be towed away for free, and you'll be supporting those that need help. Heritage for the Blind is a nonprofit organization that helps the visually impaired live fuller lives. Call right now to donate your car, and as a special thank you for calling, you'll receive a free 3-day vacation voucher to many exciting locations. Call Heritage for the Blind right now, 1-800-785-9618. Donating is easy, and your vehicle is towed away for free. Plus, you'll get a free vacation voucher. Call now, 1-800-785-9618. That's 1-800-785-9618.
Hi, everyone. This is Fred Dwyer with some breaking news. My new movie, Highway 395, has just been released. Highway 395 is my latest movie and is now available for all of my friends and listeners to own. Highway 395 is a classic modern-day Western thriller. Action, romance, and the frontier spirit. It's all there in my new movie, Highway 395. Now, here's the best part. You can own this movie tonight by going to my brand new website, freddryer.co. Head to my website now at freddryer.co and check out the trailer. Then order the movie for a great night of entertainment. And while you're at freddryer.co, check out the memorabilia and my career highlights. But don't forget to order my new action thriller movie, Highway 395. So head over to freddryer.co. That's freddryer.co. I'm Jay Farner from Quicken Loans. Choosing the right mortgage lender means choosing more than just a rate. Does calling the company with 12 J.D. Power Awards for client service matter? Does calling the company that invented Rocket Mortgage, the industry's most innovative technology, matter? If working with America's #1 online lender matters to you, call Quicken Loans today at 800-QUICKEN or go to rocketmortgage.com. That's 800-QUICKEN. Equal housing lender, NMLS number 3030. Hello, I'd like to deposit this to checking. Fate is a fickle mascot. The future is uncertain. Okay, and what's my account balance? The horizon is cloudy. I see a long, treacherous void filled with great peril. Look, can I just get a pass slip or something? A fortune bank teller. Surprising. What's not surprising? How much you could save by switching to Geico. I see a yellow light strip and a low APR. Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more. CRN, Chuck Wilder with my guest Kimberly Dvorak, the lady who walks away with all those awards. Wonder they even invite her. And seriously, I don't know why they invite you, because you just get up there and take everything, but that's another story. All right. On a serious note, ICE arrested 24 MS-13 gangsters for murder, racketeering, and money laundering. And you think about normally, they're crossing the southern border, right? And I mean, we got enough MS-13 gang members out here that can, start their own whatever. But this is in Maryland. Boy, I'm telling you.
Well, and not only that, but this wasn't just in the entire state of Maryland. This was in 3 particular counties where these deadly gang members were operating and committing violent crimes.
Well, and when you talk about violent crimes, we're going to get into it in a moment, but they have their motto, which you didn't mention in here, but when you were talking about what they were arrested for, it was conspiracy to commit murder, attempted murders, extortion, robbery, kidnapping, drug trafficking, money laundering. That's almost part of their motto, but the motto also is rape. And I didn't see that, but maybe that doesn't follow under the crime they're being charged with.
Well, I think that that's just a situation where that the United States government's not going to lay that out there. I think that's kind of a touchy issue that they don't really want to touch whatsoever. But I think what needs to get across here is that our government officials, namely ICE, are doing this interior enforcement. They're not down at the border per se doing stuff along the border. They're responsible for interior enforcement. And so when people cross the border illegally, they make it across the United States. And in this case, they were in Maryland, and they were terrorizing these people. I mean, the attacks, the murders were just out. I mean, dismembering people was how they murdered them. I mean, and that is just something you shouldn't be seeing in this country. Something that the terrorists have no problem with over there in the Middle East. And, to me, it's like it's a very lethal form of, gang, one of the deadliest, gangs that operates inside the United States. And you're seeing them grow in greater numbers. And because we have lax, immigration laws and we have a lot of loopholes, we're letting these people through. And again, it comes back to, remember when the refugees were over in the Middle East and they wanted to bring a lot of the refugees from Syria, Iraq, to this country. And everybody kind of started talking about it. So, we can't do background checks on these people. They have no ID. They have no paperwork. We don't even know who they are. Well, the same case is true with people who are crossing the border. I mean, they'll throw out maybe their brother's name and that's who they are, so they can get across and get into the United States. So we really don't have it.
Go ahead. Kimberly mentioned, DNA, that President Trump is now doing.
Yeah.
DNA, but you can't DNA every single person that wants to come into America. And I'll let you go on in a minute, but also, listeners, you can always flash back to how, if you don't vet someone at 100%, you'll get the 19 hijackers with 9/11.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Kimberly.
Well, yeah, that's a good analogy. And right now, the ISIS is kind of seeing or enjoying, I guess, a resurgence in Afghanistan right now. And, they've made it very clear that they would like to attack the homeland. We had a plot that broke up just this week for a 4th of July celebration. The police luckily got in there before the perpetrators carried out the bomb attack. But you have to question that if you don't have a secure border there, who's really coming into this country? And, people say, well, most of them are very good people. They're just here for the better life and all that. Well, if that's the case, then they'd get in line and do it the right way. Because when they cross illegally or overstay visas, they're now lawbreakers, and there's no getting around this. And I've talked to several different, immigration experts in that, and they're saying, in essence, that these illegal aliens that are coming into our country have more benefits and enjoy a lot more lenient prison sentences than American citizens. Now, I don't know how the Democrats run on that topic. I really don't know how they go to their districts and say, you know what, we want to be the party of refugees and illegal aliens because we're the moral, upstanding people. And you talk to a lot of people, they're like, you know what? And that's why this kill ICE deal is backfiring on them. And Trump's poll numbers are going up, and you're seeing 72%, support the president on this tough, zero tolerance immigration that continues to, flood across this country. We can't sustain this for very long.
Yeah, in fact, there's two things I wanted to get out real quick. One is I'm going to ask you, do you know how to spell illegal aliens, the short version?
No.
Or, anyway, VOTES, okay? Vote. That's, that's their 2018 whole thing. That's what they're working on now.
I've got a thing for President Trump, and he can do it in executive order, and it'd be real easy for him to do. Let's add, in front of ICE, let's add a capital N, National Immigration Customs Enforcement, or NICE.
Hey, wow, nice. I'm looking for that column.
That could be actually something the president could do. I don't know that he's going to do that, but I think it's something he could very well do.
That is good,
Because exactly. So, and again, the people making the headlines in this country, illegals, they continue to commit, child rape, sexual assault at higher numbers than native-born individuals. And I think a lot of people try to get away with, they commit less crime than Americans. Well, it's pretty obvious that there are more Americans in this country than there are illegals, well, at least for now. So their numbers ought to be lower than the mass, the people who are U.S. citizens, because that's how they're getting away with making that argument. And I think that, for Republicans, they're going to have to get out if they really want to, take a hold of the narrative and take a hold of the talking points on this. They're going to have to get out there on media, do lots of media, and say, here's what the Democrats are alleging. Here's what the fact is. Go here to find the facts, and systematically dismantle that. Because again, we're going to have a midterm election, and I just don't see how they win any seats in the Congress or Senate by saying we're going to raise your taxes, we're going to get rid of Trump's tax thing, we're going to make sure everybody is enforced into Obamacare, so that's another tax is going to go, come back. Then we're going to make sure that everybody pays higher gas taxes so we can, say we're going to fix roads and bridges, but not actually fix roads and bridges. So you're seeing these kind of things. It's very difficult. The president's disarmed, not in the sense that he's, actually the Iran and North Korea have disarmed, but he's taken this from a level of like, we're just about ready to go to war with these countries, and actually is doing a little bit of diplomacy here, and it's actually working. So are you going out on the campaign trail saying we should not be going to the summits talking to North Korea because they're really bad people and war is better for us anyways, let's go to war? And it just seems like on every single item that the president, and he's checking off all of these campaign promises along the way, he's I think set himself up in such a way where it makes it impossible for the other side to argue the other side, because that means you're for higher taxes, you're for open borders, so it's a situation that the Democrats are really going to have to grasp. And I think President Trump, while everybody may think he's not all that bright, I think he's incredibly bright, and he's putting these are his initiatives that he's going to lay out for the Republicans in the midterm, and I think it'll be successful.
Well, I think also the Democrats are relying, and the leaders are anyway, that the mainstream media is going to cover them no matter what. They'll give them their talking points. In the next hour with Jim Corey, I'm going to talk about a story that we were touching on a moment ago, you and I, and it's the Harris poll that just came out. And what was the date on July 3rd? I had this, okay? A majority of voters, now this includes Democrats and Republicans, want immigration reform. 73%, secured borders, 76%, stricter enforcement, 70%. Voters support prosecuting immigrants who cross the border illegally, 53%. Send them home, 64%. And they are 55% are against the catch and release policy.
Yeah.
And
Those are big numbers.
I mean,
Chuck, those are big numbers. Those are huge numbers. And those are numbers that I'm not certain that the Dems are going to be able to overcome, especially when they have, this new candidate up in New York who's going to be running, who won her primary, 28 years old, basically stating that she's for socialism. We want to take away the companies, the businesses. And, you watched, I tweeted out this week, Brian Stelter on CNN made some sort of, comment about, we need to bring these people here. They help our economy and all this. And I tweeted back to him, well, maybe you should give up your 50% of your salary, inflated salary that you're making at CNN to show us as a goodwill gesture that you're prepared to pay more. But this is not what the left wants the rest of us to do it. They just don't want to have to do it themselves, but they think it's a good rallying point or a good cry. But I don't know. I think middle America is going to look at this and go, jobs are coming out of the woodworks. And you're going to tell me we're going to go back to no more jobs and no more manufacturing in this country. It's a very tough sell for the Democrats. All that they can do is go out and say, we hate Trump. You should hate Trump. He's an evil person. He's a bad person. But they're not going to be able to add a whole litany of issues. And the latest, of course, this week is the retiring of Kennedy, Justice Kennedy. And now we're going to criminalize women who have abortions, apparently. The talk that they're putting out there, is so far-fetched and ludicrous here that we have to, we need to, kind of set the record straight. And it's up to Republicans that are in the House and Senate to do their job and highlight what the inaccuracies of the DNC is. Because they're flat out putting, falsehoods out there.
Oh, and then the way the facts are not bubbling up. It's, for example, two things, all right? Number one, I think the majority of Democratic, just Democrats, not political Democrats, but just, the Democratic voters, they're in the dark about the fact that Obama was the evil guy when it came to putting, the children in the cages and on arresting more and separating more families. But see, they're never going to hear it, okay, because they're stuck on CNN or MSNBC.
Well, like the Washington Post and the New York Times, I believe, both printed. They corrected the record, but of course that happened 2 or 3 days after the story went out. And it's way back buried on A10 of the newspaper. And nobody's going to read back that far. And nobody's going to see that retraction. And it's just that, but they want that initial shock factor. And they want you to believe that this is what President Trump is doing. And again, it's we have a president who's never been a politician before. And they're getting so frustrated because they can't find, dirt that they want to find so they can impeach him. And again, every time they go after him, they're not going at it from a position of strength. They're just calling a whole bunch of names. And when people start calling you names, that they've lost the argument because they have no facts, they have no policy, they have nothing else that they plan on doing. Will Trump get elected in 2020? Who knows what'll happen? But, one thing's for sure is that the majority of the American people still support this president. They support what he's been doing. And I don't think that they're going to lose too much in the midterms on this fight because, the president has really gone after middle America issues first. Immigration affects middle class Americans. He's dealing with that issue. Tax returns, middle class issues again. He's getting all of this legislation passed and signed into law because he knows that this is the bread and butter, the people that live in flyover country that we most often call it. And it's like I said, it's just going to be an extraordinarily hard and difficult feat for the Dems to go out and campaign on. Trump's not a nice guy. He's just not a nice guy. You can't be president. He says mean things.
And you know what I like too, Kimberly, is the way, the Democrats got their way, and I remember Squeaky Harry Reid, and the whole thing about selecting the Supreme Court. Remember how they wanted to change all the rules, all this stuff? So the Republicans said, okay, we're going to have to go along with you, and so now there's nothing they can do about this Supreme Court nominee, but they're making it out like you got to go out and fight everybody, and boy, there's not going to be anybody on there, and blah, 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 and it's no, that ain't going to happen.
Yeah,
it's not going to happen.
And notice notice where Trump's taking these, campaign rallies for, he's endorsing a number of, they're all in red states with blue Democrats up for election. So they're going to have to decide if they want to keep their job and side with the president on the Supreme Court pick, or if they don't, then I would imagine the voters vote them out of office and a Republican will take that seat. But from all sources, this pick, whoever this may be, is a done deal. There's nothing really the Democrats can do. They're trying to make it look like it outwardly, but not. They can't do anything.
Yeah, and they're showing their stupidity. No matter who it is, we don't want them.
Yeah.
My goodness. Yeah.
Oh, except for Garland. Chuck Schumer wrote a letter to Trump saying, we'd be happy if you put Garland, who was Obama's pick, at the end of his lame ducks.
Yeah, there you go.
So, I mean...
You got to take our break, Kimberly, and I was going to say real quick, they came out with a story today about how Fox, has been covering all of the presidential rallies, and they're going to keep doing it. The ratings are going through the roof.
Yep. People love him.
All right, we're going to be right back. Kimberly Dvorak, don't forget thekdreport.com, SanDiego6.com, and of course, One America News Network, and we'll be right back. For the getaway of your dreams, come to Hawaii's Playground, Ka'anapali Beach Resort, on the fun side of Maui, where the world comes to play. Find your spot on Ka'anapali Beach with 3 miles of white sand, 12 resort properties, 2 golf courses, and 2 shopping centers. Enjoy the playground of Hawaii's ancient royalty. Ka'anapali Beach Resort is Hawaii's original master plan destination resort and the home of the Hawaii Food and Wine Festival. With views of 2 neighboring islands, you can breathe in the land's natural beauty from your favorite resort or golf fairway. Come experience Ka'anapali's own special brand of Hawaiian hospitality with world-class dining, relaxing resorts, water sports, and activities of every kind. For romantic, family, and great friend getaways, discover the options of Ka'anapali Beach Resort, where the world comes to play. Plan your getaway today. Visit Ka'anapaliResort.com. That's KAANAPALI Resort.com. The smartest way for you to get the lowest prices on your plane tickets, domestic or international, is to call SmartFares. First or last, but you've got to call us before you book your plane ticket. Fly anywhere in the world, fly anywhere in the U.S., and SmartFares can save you up to 75% on your plane ticket. We have the lowest airline ticket prices on over 500 airlines, and you've got a great 12-hour free cancellation window. Plus, with our live agent help, you can always get fast help and fast answers. So on your next trip, maybe today, maybe tomorrow, how about right now? Pick up your phone and call SmartFares, plus save up to 75% on your plane reservation. So call right now. 800-915-2644, 800-915-2644, 800-915-2644, 800-915-2644. Come to Angelo's and Vinci's Restaurante to see memorabilia of movie stars and theatrical magic right in downtown Fullerton, California. The Art of the Great Masters in an Italian town square complete with storefronts of old, Italian butchers and cheesemongers, fruit and wine vendors, seamstresses showing their wares, the romance of Romeo and Juliet. Find our mystical Room of the Moon, and don't forget King Kong, Dracula, Frankenstein, and who knows what awaits you in the wine cellar. Enjoy the great food. We hand sub our pastas, roll each and every tortellini, bake our own bread, and make all of our sauces fresh from our private stock of Sicilian family recipes. Pasta to seafood, chicken to award-winning pizzas, tiramisu flown in from Rome. If you can't find something on our menu to tempt you, you don't like Italian food. Try our Sunday brunch, all you can eat, just $21.95. And Angelo's and Vinci's has been named the best Italian restaurant in Orange County 2 years in a row, and our owner has been named Restaurateur of the Year. Angelo's and Vinci's, Fullerton, California, 714-879-4022, or angelosandvinci's.com. See you on in. Get Wilder with Kimberly Dvorak, and I gotta turn that down. Okay, thank you all. Yeah, Kimberly, I rushed into that, so I was going to ask you, did you see where the Fox is really making out on the live broadcast?
Well, I mean, the president is still popular. I mean, especially he enjoys 90% support from the Republicans. So whenever he goes out and does these rally events, people come from all over the states that he's in and to attend to see the president. Of course, covering him, I know why people are coming. He has that. I mean, yeah, Obama was really good at giving speeches and doing these types of things as well. And his popularity, rose because people, he did have a way and a presence, I guess, a stage presence. But Trump does as well. And the people are there to support him, tell him, keep going. We appreciate what you're doing. And I think that when you continue to watch these campaign events roll out through the summer and into the 2018 midterm elections, it's only good news for the Republicans if this many people. It shows that the energy that he's putting out there and the energy that he's providing the party is going to stem the loss of seats. I mean, I know everybody's predicting that it's going to be a blue wave. If you watch MSNBC, CNN, evening news, and on CBS and whatnot, but you see the enthusiasm from these folks that are at these rallies. And these are the people that are going to go out and they're going to go home and they're going to tell their neighbor, oh, well, I went to a Trump rally. This is what he said. And it's true. I went and looked at this stuff. I mean, that's word of mouth is sometimes your best advertising. And people are still going to these events. And a lot of people are turned away because they can't get in. But they're going anyways and waiting outside. There is nobody on the Democrat side that enjoys any of that kind of support. And again, it's going to be difficult for the Dems to go up against a motivated GOP, which it appears at least Trump is beginning to understand the politics of this. And he thinks that this is what won him the White House, which it did. And he thinks that if he's out there in front of the people and working tirelessly, just, he's up for like 20 hours a day and just showing them that, hey, support me on this right here and we'll get moving and finish up the last of our agenda items, then I think that it's going to be, it's going to be hard for the Democrats to retake the House. And there's virtually almost zero chance they take the Senate. So it's just, he's doing what worked for him in the past, and he's not your typical politician because he's not a politician. And I think a lot of people find that refreshing right now.
Well, the one he did before, I wish I could remember the city, but I know they had to, or the state, they had to move it into an arena because there wasn't enough room. And then it was like CNN saying, yeah, there were 1,200 to 1,400 people at the rally, and it turns out there were 9,000, plus a humongous line outside. Wow, I'm telling you.
Well, and this is the thing. I mean, I believe it was a Washington, either New York Times or Washington Post reporter that tweeted it and backed it up in a story, his allegations that nobody was there. And then the newspapers were flooded with calls saying, well, that person took this, 6 hours before the event even started. And he did get fired. So that person did get fired for doing that. But it just shows you how gullible they let this go.
Had to change the stock market and the whole ball of wax.
Yeah.
All right, listen, we're just about out of time here. I saw a really interesting quote, from Abraham Lincoln, if you're ready for this one. Are you ready for this one?
I am.
He said, Abraham Lincoln, that Ruth Bader Ginsburg was the worst nominee he ever made.
Yeah. I'm not going to argue.
It does seem like she's been there a long time, huh?
Well, yeah, it has. And you know what? I think with the Supreme Court thing, I really think that the president's going to choose a female. He really is.
Hey, thank you very much. Look forward to our next visit. Kimberly Dvorak,
Thanks.
DVORAK, and it's VKDReport.com.